Hey everybody, Happy New Year and welcome back. This is Monday Morning Briefing episode number 134, and it is Monday, January the 6th, 2025. I hope everybody had a really good New Year's and a good Christmas holiday and a good break. Hopefully you got to take some time off and spend some time with friends and family, or just piddle around in your shops and work on some projects that maybe you wanted to work on after you got our Christmas orders done. We had a really good break. I usually take off for the last 20 years of our business just because of back in the day when we were just doing the saddle shop thing and just doing that. A lot of the people that worked for us, I may have talked about this before, but a lot of them roped, and there was a big roping that went on right around New Year's time down here. And so a lot of those folks were taking off anyway during that week just to go to that roping and stuff. And so we kind of made it years and years ago that it was kind of a mandatory week off between Christmas and New Year's, just because there's not a lot going on. A lot of your tree companies shut down. A lot of other companies and suppliers, everything's pretty slow. Everybody's just pretty much on vacation. And so we've done that forever. So I was kind of in and out between Christmas and New Year's a little bit. Ended up deciding to go. I wasn't originally going to go just because we have stuff to feed in the barns and stuff like that at home. I wasn't going to go, but my wife and kids were going to her family's place in North Texas for Christmas, and there was some pretty bad weather ahead of that and stuff, and so I decided to go at the last minute and ended up going. It was a great time. Got to spend some time with her side of the family. Some of them I haven't seen in years, and so we had a really, really good time. But that was a few days out of the shop and stuff, and then I was in and out kind of in the shop during that time, but mainly we were working on honeydew projects at home. And if you're following us on Instagram, I was pretty quiet on Instagram and YouTube, obviously, during that time. I tried to just disconnect just a little bit during that week and just kind of focus on some things that, during the year we're too busy to do at home or whatever. And so we worked on quite a few projects. I got a lean-to barn extension done that we had started about a month ago, and it set the poles for it and everything else. Anyway, we wrapped that up over the break, as well as some dog boxes for Huey and Wilbur. So inside their doggy condo there, we ended up building some dog boxes for them with this winter storm that just hit us. It's cold in South Texas. We're about 30 degrees this morning, which for us, that's pretty cold, but it's we have zero precipitation. Everything's good, and so we're doing fine. But we usually don't appreciate real cold weather, so as soon as this can be over with, that'd be great. But all in all, it's not too bad. One thing I want to talk about that I did do, first I want to thank some folks that came in from San Diego, California, and I guess they were passing through. I may or may not have emailed these folks. I had somebody email, I didn't remember until after, seeing if we were going to be here. And I don't remember what day that was that they had asked, but I said, we get closer, let me know or whatever. And it might have been the day that we went out of town. I'm not sure. But anyway, they stopped by the shop. Sad to miss them, but they did leave us this nice little gift of coffee and Cafe Moto. I haven't tried it yet. Forgot about it this morning, but I will give this a shot tomorrow and see what it's like. I really appreciate that. And I'm sorry I missed you guys. If you're out there and this was you, give us a call at the shop or shoot us an email so we can thank you properly. It doesn't have a last name on here. It's just a couple folks' name on there. But apologize we weren't here, but thank you very much for the coffee. And also talking about coffee, I found a little company in Bastrop, Texas. When we were doing some Christmas shopping and my son had to get braces on, this was right before Christmas, and so we went to Bastrop. And that's a place we usually go shopping. It's not too far away, about an hour. And so we went over there and did some Christmas shopping and got that knocked out. But while I was over there, I found this company here, Texas Coffee Works. And I just saw it there on the side of the road there in a little strip mall kind of thing. And so we stopped in there and got a cup of coffee and ended up visiting with a really, really nice guy there that I think manages the place or something. Real nice fella. He gave me his card, gave me some information. And so we might have something coming out of this. But I bought 3 or 4 bags of this as kind of stocking stuffers, Christmas gifts, and we're giving it a whirl in the shop, and it's really good. But yeah, check them out, Texas Coffee Works. We'll talk more about that if something comes about with that, but we were glad to find been kind of looking for a Texas-based roastery to kind of maybe do some stuff with. just for fun, and just because saddle shop, we've got to have coffee. That's kind of the fuel of the saddle maker is caffeine and maybe a sip of whiskey in the evenings. But so I may have found them. So real nice folks, really good coffee, really nice atmosphere in there. Typical kind of coffee shop with a Texas twist. And so I was really, really glad. And it looks like an independent, small business like we are, and that's who we try to do business with, if at all possible, on as many products as we can. So kind of working on that. Otherwise, we were in here. Let's see, I worked Thursday and Friday last week. We were here. I meant to do Monday briefing kind of right after New Year's, get the first one out. But Robin and I got here on Thursday and got all the orders done and got those knocked out and shipped out. So if you ordered anything over that Christmas time frame or whatever, those have gone out. And just kind of worked on that mainly on Thursday. I did do some cleaning and some organizing, mainly during, once we hit New Year's, that's kind of my time to really analyze and assess stuff and then make changes. And so kind of see what needs work and what are we doing okay on that we can make better even still, right? So that's kind of what I do during that time. And historically, I've spent that entire week between Christmas and New Year's just kind of milling around the shop, cleaning, organizing, taking the time to move stuff around if I need to, if a workstation would work better in another format or something, working on that type of stuff. I didn't do a lot of that this year. Mainly what I did was just paper type stuff in our journal or in our workbook, as far as content ideas for the YouTube channel, content ideas for Instagram, other platforms that we might want to start dealing with or being on, to bring content to a little wider audience. Maybe not all of y'all are on Instagram, so we are looking into some of that stuff. But mainly just kind of looking at what are we doing? What did we do right last year? What could we have done better? What didn't work at all? Those kind of things. And that's kind of a good time to do that, is right at New Year's. Because again, that week between Christmas and New Year's, most people are kind of off. They're on vacation, they're shut down. Companies aren't really expecting a lot to happen. There's not a lot of big moves made during that week. So even if you have a day job and then this is your side hustle or your side income thing, or even just your hobby, it's still a great time to just analyze what you've got, what you did, and then assess that and then figure out what can I change, or do I need to make any changes? What do I need to maybe cancel? What do we need to stop doing that's taking too much time, that's not really giving me the return that I want to see on that, whether it's your skill level, whether it's your tools. Do you have tools in your shop that you paid for and invested money in, but you never use, right? You thought you would, but you won't. Maybe that's the time you look at that machine and say, maybe I need to sell that or move that down the road to somebody, or gift it forward to somebody that can put it to use. It's just kind of a good time to get a good start on the new year. And so we're ready to do that for 2025. I get pretty excited about New Year's. Christmas is my favorite holiday for many reasons, but New Year's is second to that because it's kind of a fresh start. It's kind of, we got a clean slate now. We've got an entire 365-day run here where we can hit all the shows we hit last year. So we go back and look at each show, see what we did, what we took, inventory-wise, what classes did we teach, what classes do we want to teach, and we look at all that kind of stuff and kind of start thinking about the upcoming year. And that's what we did during that break. Today I'm going to be working on mainly just getting the shop kind of ship shape and getting it kind of organized up, because between just what we do here, just filling orders and doing that, as well as this is kind of our workshop personally too. So we did Christmas wrapping, we did, projects the kids did, projects for Granny or, Pops and Grams, that kind of thing. So the shop kind of gets in disarray. We did have some visitors in Friday, I believe it was. Yes, today's Monday, so it was Friday. Had some friends from Louisiana come by. Well, one's from Texas, just on this side. One's from Louisiana, just on that side. So they're big buddies. Anyway, they were down here doing a little adventure run there, and they stopped by the shop. I've seen them at the shows every year. Really, really nice folks. And they stopped in to visit, and I said, "Excuse the shop. It's a mess." And so they were completely understanding. I think anybody that ever comes here, I always start that off, because I never know really if my shop looks messy to somebody, it feels comfortable and functional to me, but sometimes I feel like they might think it's a wreck in here. But that's a workshop. The guy I learned to build saddles from, Jimmy Plant, he always said that if you go into somebody's shop and it's pristine, clean, and perfectly organized, there's probably not a lot of work going on in there. To some of that, I kind of agree, but also I think we could all do a better job of keeping it organized and clean. It's just hard when you're really running and gunning in a shop and working on stuff. So you got to take time every once in a while. And so that's what I'm going to do today, is just kind of get it swept up, and kind of organized a little bit. It's not bad. And then we're going to be back on our saddles. We've got one we're going to wrap up hopefully this week, and then kind of get rolling. We've got a lot going on in the shop. We don't have a ton going on at home other than projects. We got, like I said, 2 or 3 projects done over the break. And so now we've got a list. I always have a list of different things we want to accomplish at home. Same thing I do in the shop. It's just how I function. And so Claudia and I were looking at what's the next project on the list. And so we'll start that one probably next weekend or something like that. But as far as traveling, we're not going to be doing very much traveling at all in January. The only thing we've got is our Moulton Junior Livestock Show. And that is I think on the 19th. We're going to be doing that here in Moulton. That'll be a really good show. It's just a small little hometown show. I got on the livestock show board this year, so we're kind of more involved with that. And so it's kind of fun seeing how they run that show. And, I'm just kind of a extra set of hands at this moment, just trying to learn everything and how it all works and moves. But we'll do that. And the kids got a couple steers, and then we've got many friends that have chickens or a lamb, or there's all kinds of stuff that we're going to do there. And then we're pretty much done with showing after that with the steers until Austin, which will be in March. Believe it's March. Yeah, it's March. But in between that and the Austin Major, we will be at Prescott, Arizona, or Prescott, Arizona, as we always say. Say it both ways. That way nobody can get mad. We will be there in February, and I'll get you the dates of that. If you are going to Prescott, Arizona for the Leather Workers Trade Show, Southwest Leather Workers Trade Show, that is February the 21st through the 23rd of 2025. And so it's a great show. If you're out that direction and you've never been to a show, this is a great one to go to. It's put on by the Leather Crafters Journal, and they do 3 shows a year here in the States, 1 in Europe. But the one here, we've talked about it all the time on there, but we have Prescott, Arizona in February, Sheridan, Wyoming in May, and Waco, Texas in August. And so we will be at all 3 of those shows. And Prescott, last year was our first year at that show, and it was amazing. It's a great show, nice little venue. Everything's right there. Prescott is beautiful. Downtown is so much fun. We were down there, I think, about every evening, just kind of checking it out. We found a cool ice cream shop there and a little souvenir store and stuff like that. It's just a really cool old downtown. But the show is really good. So the workshops will start on Tuesday of that week, and they will run through the weekend. There's still a lot of workshops with plenty of enrollment space in there. So if you are deciding, hey, I'm going to go check out the Southwest Leather Workers Trade Show in Prescott, then I highly suggest signing up for at least one workshop. Get there a day early. Take a little workshop, even if it's just a couple-hour little seminar workshop. Take something like that. You'll get to meet some other leather crafters, like-minded folks. It's a lot of fun and real laid back. It's not real, formal or anything like that. All these instructors are really, really personable and approachable, and they'll teach you something you may or may not know. It's a really good opportunity. We're teaching 3 or 4 workshops. Anyway, our workshops are full at this time. I do believe they do have a list you can get on, and then if somebody cancels such and such. But for the most part, ours are full for Prescott. But I will say the classes for Sheridan in May will probably post right around the Prescott show. I think Cheryl likes to post those as we go into that show for the next show, so that people have plenty of time to sign up for or enroll for workshops at the next show. But yeah, Prescott will be fun. We'll be getting there probably that Monday, and we can kind of relax, get in my classroom set up, that kind of thing. And then I'll start teaching Tuesday morning, and we'll teach all the way through Thursday. And then the trade show will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And trade show's great. Last year was amazing. That venue's not as big as Waco, say, and especially not as big as Sheridan. Sheridan's at the college. There's lots of room around there and stuff. But when you go to Prescott, it's in one hotel deal. And of course, they've got the big banquet rooms and stuff. And I remember first walking in there and saying, man, it's not going to be quite as big. They pack a lot of vendors in that thing. I mean, it's completely packed. I mean, there's people down the hallway. There's a lot of vendors. I say a lot. There was vendors there in a fair amount that I don't see at other shows. So that was really fun because I get to meet some new people and kind of see some of their products and things like that. I didn't get a ton of time to walk around, but I do take some time usually at the shows early in the mornings to go ahead and mill around and see who all's there. Great opportunity to meet some of these folks that you're ordering products from or that you just want to talk to about some of their tools and their machines, anything like that. Leather Machine Co. will be there. Makers Leather Supply will be there. There's just a ton of folks that are in the industry as suppliers, vendors, tool makers, and they'll all be there at Prescott. So 21st to the 23rd of February, get ready for it. If you're on the fence, I highly recommend hitting that show, especially if you're on that side of the country. It's going to be the closest one you got other than Sheridan and Waco. And those are pretty good drives, for some people, depending on where you are, if you're on the West Coast or out west that way. So we're getting ready for that. We've got our folder. I make a folder for every show that we go to. And so, and that way I've got notes of what I do from year to year. And so we've pulled that folder for Prescott. And we'll go through and we'll see what did we take last year. I think last year it's a little bit of smaller space, so our booth was a little bit smaller. So we took far more than we could fit in the booth. This year we might readjust a little bit just to because they really can't grow that show from what I can tell. I mean it's not tight. It's just they've got a lot of vendors in there, and those booth spaces have been allocated to those people for so long. So our booth is a little bit smaller there, but we pack it full. So Claudia will have it packed full of plenty of merchandise, and then of course we'll have all of our patterns and stuff like that, all the products that you expect from us. But we look forward to going. We look forward to being there. I'm just excited about 2025. I hope you are. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on, everywhere, as far as being a new year. And of course, we've got the election behind us and all that kind of stuff. But I just feel like it's going to be a good year. I'm excited. I always get excited at the beginning of a new year. And so we're getting ready to go. We are looking at some new things. We did some new things right at the end of the year with the Corner Pattern book and our new booklet series that we're doing. We're working on new versions of those or new series of those. So those will be coming out. We'll probably have one come out this month. So be on the lookout for that. But we've also got some other new things that we're working on that are on both the content side as well as the product side. Just things that are going to hopefully help you in your shop and your career goals or your skill set goals, whether it's a hobby or whether it's business. That's what we're trying to do, is trying to get kind of moving forward on what direction we need to take some of these product lines or some of these resources that we're creating. So we're working on that. We're going to be working on that a lot this month just to kind of get the ball rolling on some of that. As far as the podcast, still rolling. Christmas season was very difficult to get anybody nailed down. Obviously, it's Christmas time, including myself. It's just hard to take a day and do interviews and things like that. So that's part of our content creation side of things. We are really looking at the podcast on how to streamline it just a little bit and make it a little bit easier on me, because between everything else that I do, as well as trying to hook people up. Now we have Robin in the shop. We're talking about maybe having her kind of be our reach out person, try to get everybody kind of lined up. That way she can just tell me, hey, Thursday morning, take a couple hours and visit with these folks or this guy or this gal, whatever. So working on that. I know you guys love the podcast. I've gotten a lot of emails over right before Christmas and stuff, just asking me to please don't take the podcast away. We're not. It's still there. It's just it's a passion project. So it's one of those things that if we've got other things pressing, I'd rather get people's orders out to them, get them taken care of, put it on any fires, those kind of things, than drop the ball on that. So if we're going to drop the ball on something or sacrifice some time on something, unfortunately, that's the way that's going to be for now. But hopefully we'll have a couple episodes come out this month. That's my goal. And going forward, we're going to do our best to try to keep it at least 2 episodes a month. And that way you guys got plenty to listen to. But we've also got Steve Van Plu, his the Leather Community Podcast. He's been doing a great job. You can only listen to it on YouTube. So if you haven't run across that, go check it out on YouTube. Just search Leather Community Podcast. You'll find it. He's had a lot of people on there. We were on there back in November. Really appreciated him coming down. He does a great job on his episodes. They're really short and to the point. They're not like 5 minutes or anything. I think they're 20, 30 minutes long. They're great. They're video format, so you can listen to them on YouTube. You just turn it on your radio or whatever and just listen to it. You don't have to watch it. But it's neat to be able to watch it because he does do some really good little B-roll footage and stuff of whoever's shop he's in, because he physically goes to their shop, sits them down, sets up gear, and does a face-to-face interview, which is something we would love to do. But at this stage in the season, we're not able to do that. But he does a fantastic job. So if you haven't already, be sure and go to YouTube and check out Leather Community Podcast. He does a really good job. He's had some really, really great folks on there. He's on season 2, I believe, right now. And he's just doing some great things. And if you get to meet him at a show, at a trade show, you will recognize him, even if you've never watched his YouTube or anything. If you're at a show and you see a guy with a big fancy camera and some white glasses on, that's Steve. Stop him, shake his hand, super nice guy. He'll even have a beer with you. He's a really, really nice fella. Just check him out. He's doing some good stuff. There's a lot of folks in the leather community doing some good stuff right now, including Leathercrafters Journal and many, many other people, vendors and tool makers and things like that. So we're glad to see that. We're excited for 2025. We're going to get off of here, speaking of that, and I'm going to get back at it. I just wanted to pop in here, get one out on a Monday finally to start the new year off. I can't promise that I'll do that every week, but we wanted to get this first one out on Monday. I appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to go to dgsaddlery.com, sign up for the Leathercraft newsletter, and I hope your 2025 is blessed and prosperous, and I hope you get to knock out as many cool projects as you want in your shop this year and take on some more challenging projects than you did last year. That's always the goal, is to advance just a little bit. You don't have to double that skill set overnight. Just a little bit at a time. Try something a little bit harder, a little bit harder. Thank you, guys. We'll see you all next week in the Monday Morning Briefing.